Hi, my name is Stephen, the creator of Anton's Antics and the storyteller. I use colourful live drawings to tell stories from the Bible in all Anton's Antics shows. So today, whether you're an adult who wants to learn how to teach kids using this quick draw method, or children at home, boys and girls who just want to learn to cartoon and sketch more, we're going to get started by just looking at the basics of the kind of equipment you might need to get ready to quick draw. So first up, let's have a look over here. We've got the easel. Now you're going to need something to prop up your drawings. So I've got a wooden easel which I travel around with, and sitting on that is a backing board on which we've got some felt attached. Now I'm going to show you what this backing board looks like. Over here I've got a portable one which I take with me whenever I travel on a plane or I just want to travel really lightly. It's two pieces of custom wood from the hardware store, quite thin for travel to make it as light as possible, and some very heavy gaff tape holding them together. You can see that all I've got to do is fold them together and I can carry the whole lot under my arm or go in the suitcase. So if you want to travel to a school in and out of your car, this could be a really good option. Also using a tripod which collapses, a very lightweight aluminium tripod, all collapses down to a very small little bag. I've also got an extra piece of MDF or custom wood just to stop the folding board from flexing too much, and that just provides a bit of extra support so that the board doesn't move too much that way when I'm drawing. You'll also notice on the boards, both the small one that I travel with and this larger one, that we've got some felt, as I mentioned earlier. Now that's really to help soften the board, because the timber board by itself is just too hard to draw on, and you'll find the chalks won't come off easily. So it just softens it a bit. It also gives you a bit of extra to play with in terms of use. Let me show you. The felt turns the board into a giant storytelling device without the use of chalk. You can create your own pictures, stick them on the board and tell a story very quickly by simply attaching, to our little friend Anton here, little pieces of hook and loop Velcro. So this is kind of like the loop, this is the hook, and so you can tell a story that way. Or if you've got your own felt characters from the Bible, you can put them on a giant felt board like this, take it into a class with you and tell a story. So that's what you can do with the felt part of the board once it's on. Now to attach the felt, you're going to need some custom glue, some PVA glue. Coat the wood and then press the felt over the top once you've cut it to size, and then put some weights on it. And that way overnight it'll set and be properly stuck to the wood for your when you're ready to draw. To draw, you're also going to need some clamps. You can see I've got some small ones here and some large ones over here on the larger board. These also come from the hardware store, so you can go and look for those and get something to hold your paper on. Next up, we've got the paper itself. Now you can either buy paper cut to size, and you may like to think about what size board you're going to make by first starting with custom cut bits of paper. Find out what the custom sizes are and make your board to suit. That could save you time, or if you want to save a bit of money, you can get off-cut rolls or slightly defective rolls like this from paper factories, and then cut the paper yourself. Now that's a bit more work. Cutting the paper yourself is a little bit more work. As you can see, I've done it here. I've had to trim it to size right the way around. And importantly, you'll notice there's a gap down here. And that's because I'm going to put my chalks down the bottom here, and every time I move a page, if my sheet drops to the bottom, I'm going to knock my chalk off. So always trimming a few centimetres above the ledge where the chalk goes. Let's talk about the chalks. You can't just use teacher's chalk, the old teacher's chalk. What you're going to need to do is get yourself some of these. And these are available from Anton's Antics shop. They're a very soft chalk which is imported from Mexico. As you can see, we've got a range of colours. Some have had more use than others, from the dark black, browns, oranges, yellows, right through to some very colourful different options in blues and pinks. Obviously we can get greens by mixing colours like blue and yellow together, and you'll see that as we go through some of the story techniques and drawing techniques we're going to cover in later posts. Also, you can get yourself to a craft store and buy very small dark chalks for using with detail of eyes and other features. So they're a separate purchase from any good kind of art supplier. But these sort of colourful, big, chunky chalks you probably won't find in your local art supply store. Now, to cut your paper, you're going to need a Stanley knife. If you want to start sketching stories up before using the chalks, you're going to need pencil and a rubber. Over here I've also got a general purpose dust cloth because the chalks break up very, very quickly. They create a lot of very fine dust, so you'll need something to wipe everything down afterwards. Have a look down the floor, because down the floor you'll notice I'm keeping a drop sheet. You'll find that both on your clothes and on the floor, chalk will drop. It can be quite messy, so it's a good idea to use a drop sheet, and preferably clothes that you don't mind getting chalk on, as they can be a little bit hard to get the chalk out of sometimes. Alright, I think we've covered most things. You can see with this portable easel I've had to custom make my own little chalk tray, so you might need to fiddle around and make your own as well, depending on what sort of easel you can buy. The other thing I wanted to show you is there are people from many years back that have been doing sketching longer than I have. I just want to acknowledge them and also pass on to you some of their kind of wisdom. Some of the books are out of print, unfortunately, so we've got this one here called by Keith Thompson, Sketch and Tell. You might be able to get it in the library. Some good examples of how to quick draw in there. Also, Owen Shelley, who recently passed away, but who left a lot of his materials with his son now on their website, Shelley and Son, so go and check that out. And in this book, which is also sadly out of print, there is some examples of how to quick draw. You may also like to go to Anton's Antics website and grab yourself the DVD. On that there is an example of a complete story and the techniques like using. It's quite a good training video as well as being great fun for kids to watch at home. Well, I hope that's been really helpful, and look forward to seeing you next time we actually start to draw. Bye for now.